Hello and welcome to the EMBN Show. More midweek madness. On today's show, we've got some new delights featuring the Bosch SX drive unit. Hello and welcome, and we've got a new man on set. This is Owen Coutts. You might have recognised him from previous, but he's actually, look at his lovely haircut. This is Owen before, and this is Owen after. Owen, what have you learned this week?
Lots about offset and trail.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Do you think it matters?
Yeah.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
I'll give you my first experience of road riding. When I first got into road riding, two different bikes. I think one was a Trek Madone, the other one was a Specialized Tarmac or something like that. Different trail. And I noticed, I don't know which one was which, but the stability of one of the bikes when you're going down round corners, I was thinking, oh my God, is the steering like locked on this bike?
Yeah.
It is so planted. And then you got another bike, can't remember which one it was. I was thinking, this is so nervous.
Yep.
All down to trail and offset.
Yeah.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is.
But does it matter on mountain bikes? Does it matter on e-mountain bikes? That's the question.
Yeah, I think it does, because I think it's one of those things where we get obsessed by maybe head angle and reach, when actually we should be looking at offset and head angle together, a bit like stack as well, because it all interplays together, so it's not just one figure.
Well, you could even take it one step further, and it's, you know, it's bottom bracket, it's changed the length, it's how heavy you are, it's the shock tune, the suspension design. It's a system, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Owen, we're going to be talking about one particular e-bike system on today's show, and that's the new Bosch SX. And there's a few new bikes featuring the new SX. The first one of which we're going to talk about is the new Whyte E-Lyte. Now, Whyte have had a new visual identity.
Yeah.
I mean, you must have known Whyte for quite a long time, right?
Yeah, I think since they first came out.
Do you remember the first bikes? The one with the Maverick fork? That was a 150mm travel.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been pretty groundbreaking in a lot of their bikes over the years, haven't they?
Really groundbreaking. I think that had like 4, 5 and 6 inch travel on the back, plus that 6-inch travel Maverick fork.
I liked the Maverick fork.
I mean, 24mm axle as well to make it stiffer.
But as you guys might know, Whyte are a partner on the channel, but they've got a new E-Lyte bike. E-Lyte Delight, as you say.
E-Lyte Delight, and it is. Much easier to lift into the stand, so yeah, it's awesome.
I guess you've lifted that bike. Actually, you've lifted that bike, putting these new Industry 9 wheels on.
Yeah.
Can you just give it a spin?
Yeah, go for it.
Give it a spin.
You ready?
Doesn't get any better, does it?
No,
doesn't get any better. The folks, new E-Lyte. Right, what have we got? Right, there's two versions. There's a 140mm version and a 150mm version. One obviously leans more towards cross-country and the other one leans towards more sort of trail enduro. And that's reflected in the weights of the bike. The 140mm version. Come on in, the Don. Come and say hello to the EMBN audience.
Welcome.
Come in, the Don's going to come and say hello.
This is normal.
So this is
show.
the Don.
Yeah.
Now the Don, we're going to video coming up on the channel soon where the Don's got his new Ken Roxon 94 bike.
Oh yeah.
With my wheels on it. My silver and black Industry 9 wheels.
Nice.
What are you going to do, Don, on that Ken Roxon bike?
I'm going to ride it until the battery runs out, Steve.
Perfect. That's going to be a long ride.
That's going to be a really long ride. Yeah,
Bye.
get ready.
The thing with Whyte is they've always been pretty ahead with geometry. I mean, Ian Alexander, Andy Jeffries, they know their stuff, basically. And, sorry, Mike Sanderson as well. Great geometry numbers.
Yep.
Again, the componentry on each of the, you know, the lighter weight one versus the heavier weight one is reflected in the componentry.
Yeah.
You can't, and that's the whole thing with these mid-weight bikes, is like some brands are trying to put cross-country parts in them and claim them to be trail enduro bikes.
Yeah.
You can't do that, can you?
Not without, you can, but then you quite quickly you can run out of steam, literally on the trail, in terms of like super light tyres and e-bikes. Like it's a great advantage because you've saved weight, but you can get a puncture quite easily.
Easily. Now, a central part of this bike, as we mentioned, is the new Bosch SX drive unit. It's actually a system, so you've got the 55 Nm motor, which is, I think it's 2 kilos. It's like 500 grams less than the CX motor. The interesting thing about the Bosch SX drive is actually delivers 600 watts peak power, which is the same as the full power CX drive. But whereas the CX will deliver 600 watts at 70 RPM, The SX would deliver you 400 watts at 70 RPM, so you're going to spin it out to get more power.
Okay, yeah.
But it obviously is a lighter bike, and that's reflected in the kind of the looks of this bike. You know, the SX bikes do actually look quite different to the CX bikes.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
29-inch wheels, and as I said, either 140 or 150mm versions. Next up, Orange, the Phase Evo Paradox.
Paradox. I'm liking the name already.
It is. Now, the specs on this bike start from 19.5 kilos, 160mm travel. Obviously, the iconic orange design.
Yep.
Very excellent positioning of the pivot point.
Yep.
It's the monocoque design. You see, we've talked about this before. I think single pivot bikes, a lot of people underrate them, but I really like them.
Well,
I think they're easy to understand.
Yeah, they are. And then you can get a nice suspension setup, and then you can just sort of crack on with riding versus still maybe not quite getting the ride height right, not getting the shock tune exactly right. Not saying that brands don't do that already, but...
Some do, but some don't.
Yeah.
Some get it monumentally wrong.
Yeah, they do. But there's a lot to go on with suspension, whereas single pivot... Effectively, it simplifies a lot.
There's a lot, let's say, there's a lot of bright ideas out in this mountain bike suspension world, isn't there?
Yes, yeah, there
not
are.
Often go completely to plan, and then a few years later, there's a new suspension design.
Yeah, or the new 0.8 version of that design that we said was the best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Asymmetric swinging arm on this to get vertical stiffness and lateral compliance.
Now that's interesting.
It is. You know what? We see in marketing so many times that, oh yes, the bike is stiffer than before. What they forget is, like, you can't keep the bike going stiffer every year, because before you know it, you've done 15 years and your marketing's been like, oh, you're stiffer than the year before.
Yeah, yep.
It's going to be like riding this.
But I think it's an easy sell, isn't it, to talk about, we've increased stiffness, when actually it's one of those dynamic ride characters.
You want compliance, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
You don't want stiffness, you want compliance.
Yeah.
This has also got the Bosch SX drive unit, 400 watt-hour battery. And, like many brands say, it's the same range. If you've got a 400 down tube battery with a 250 watt-hour range extender, by the way, which the Whyte E-Lyte has as well, you can actually get the same range, and I've done it as a bike with a full power bike with a 750 watt-hour battery. So,
but a bit more flexibility in terms of how you ride it and where you ride it.
So obviously, it's no secret that you're new to e-mountain biking.
I am, yeah, freshie.
What are you most looking forward to riding in terms of bikes? Mid-assist ones or full power ones?
I think full power.
Yes!
Yeah, like, I'm going to say that 160 bike that I tried with on the what was it, Magora video, I was like, this is going to be too much bike. My previous experience of like a 150, 160mm bike, I was like, okay, this is too much. But it felt so planted. It felt so much fun.
And you know what? It's funny that Don just came in here. We might have jested, but him and Blake were out. Yeah, was it yesterday, Louis? It was yesterday. Tearing around the woods in the mud. And that's what e-bikes are great for.
Yeah.
It's like, mud is no object to you having fun. You just like throw it. Right, we're getting distracted. Hip lock, anti-angle grinder lock.
Yeah.
You must know about this stuff. 20mm graphene reinforced premium hardened steel shackle.
Yeah.
Have you ever been shackled?
No,
you haven't
actually, no.
You could be shackled with this new hip lock.
Well, hopefully not, because no one will be able to get through it.
They won't be able to get through it.
Don't lose the key.
Do you know much about locks and things like that?
A little bit about locks, a little bit about graphene. That's kind of fun.
Well, go on then.
Single layer of atoms of carbon in a sheet. So you've got all those those bonds working together, but there's a spare bond on carbon. So it means that when you mix it, say with tyres or with whatever they've used here with the steel, it makes whatever it's bonding with ramp up, boost all its properties. It's really clever. And the guy found it, was doing an experiment. He found it by accident, classic. He'd got a block of graphene, so not dissimilar to kind of like lead in pencils, but not same. And he was trying to get really thin bits to look under the microscope at. He changed it molecularly somehow. Anyway, he was trying to get really small bits. He'd got some Scotch-Brite tape. He'd stuck it on the block, pulled it off, and then he'd stuck those two bits stuck together. So he peeled them apart, and he noticed that one bit was kind of thicker of graphene, and then the other sort of shard was really, really thin. And he was like, being a man of kind of like low intelligence, bearing in mind he's got a Nobel Prize, he went, I think because I can see through it, it must be really thin. So he did more experiments and created graphene.
Wow. Louis, were you expecting that?
That was good.
Moving on to comments and questions from you guys. Now, this is from Paul Britton, Owen. Basically, what Paul's asking is he's trying to get rid of wrist pain by putting a longer fork on the bike and running lower pressure in the fork. Obviously, by running lower pressure is not going to compromise the geometry of the bike. But I've not addressed this before because I find it, having ridden thousands of mountain bikes, I've not quite got down to the reason why you get wrist pain on a bike. I used to think that certain suspension designs, and I'm still slightly convinced it happens, is the motion of the way the suspension work, it forces you onto the bar in this motion. Yeah. And there was a few bikes like it. I better not mention it in case I get a letter in the post. But there's so many issues. I thought it was the width of your grips, and actually, do you know what? It was on a Whyte bike. It's on the Whyte bikes with Maverick forks. I tried every single width grip from super thin up to super thick, right? Yeah. And lots of people think that wider grips are better for wrist pain than thinner ones. I actually found the thinner ones were actually better for arm pump. The thing is, to answer Paul's question, I cannot guarantee that by having a softer fork and longer travels, he's gone from 160 to 180. Yeah. I can't guarantee there's going to eliminate wrist pain. It could be the shape of your handlebars, it could be your tires, it could be your wheels, it could be a suspension design, it could be the size of your bike. It could be the fact that maybe your bike is off, maybe your chainstay and your front center are out of sync, and by that I mean if you've got a bike with a shorter chainstay. Sorry, if you've got a bike with a longer chainstay and a shorter front end, it's going to put more force on the front of your bike, and the opposite is the case if you've got a shorter chainstay. In general, it's a complicated story, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, here we go.
It is. No, it's 100%. It is really complicated, and I guess I've got like two inputs of experience, and that's working with...
One is Sam Hill.
To be fair, Sam never complained to me about arm pump ever, or to JC. I never... Yeah. But Joe struggled. Joe Smith, he struggled with arm pump on occasion, so we went through some different grips. We played with bar roll a little bit, but I think, and then other experiences I kind of like worked with Ergon a little bit, so they make some really big variety of grips.
I think.
So they make some ones that are sort of like asymmetric, which effectively like changes the bar roll a little bit. But I think the biggest thing, and even they said when they developed their sort of gravity and first iteration of their downhill grip, is that there's so many factors of fit change that can impact it. It might not be one, it could be this one. So I would say with the suspension, bumping up the fork can make a difference because it might pull stuff back. But you're right about the balance of suspension. I think it's really easy to get focused on, if I lift the front end up, and you could do that with putting a longer fork on. You could try, bar with more rise, but then if the rear suspension is set up too stiff or it's not progressive enough, and so you're running it to ride higher, that you're right, you're going to put more pressure on the front.
Exactly. So, do you want to give us a couple more of the questions?
Yeah, let's go for it.
We need to be very quick on this.
Right, okay. Brian Thompson, he says, when e-bikes lose the traditional bicycle look and look more like motorcycles, it's a guaranteed move backwards for trail usage.
I think this is a monumental subject.
It is. Trail access is big.
It's huge. With the likes of Yamaha and Honda bringing out those bikes, which actually maybe some people would say would look like motorcycles.
Yeah.
It's big because if you see something like that on a trail, people are going to say, no, that's a motorcycle. Yeah. No motorcycles. We're going to cover that subject on a separate video.
Yeah, it's big though.
Let's leave it.
Okay, love it. Rider 65. I love this. Let's face it, without moto, mountain bike would still be in the dark ages in terms of bicycle design, innovation. Moto and auto engineers are far ahead of bicycle engineers.
Are they?
Well, so some of them.
You see that?
Jobs Brandt was a Porsche engineer, and he's written the book.
Who?
Jobs Brandt.
Okay. This seems to precede a massive discussion.
Yeah.
Which we have to put on hold, I'm afraid.
Oh.
We have to.
I mean, it's a huge one. Paul Turner.
Yeah.
Keith Bontrager.
Yeah.
Both were playing with motos.
Yeah.
Like Keith was welding exhausts.
It's funny because like Olivier Bossard.
Oh yeah.
Olivier Bossard, he actually RockShox, whoever it was, actually phoned him up and said, "Oh, can you come and you said that he sent them a message basically, and he went and met RockShox and said, well, I've got this damper, blah blah blah." And I was like, "What the hell's going on here?"
Wow.
And you know, again, I mean, there's so many. You look. There's Franco Fratton, who from EXT, like total legend boffin. You got the guys at Olin's. You've got. Oh my God, we could go on and on, actually.
Yeah, well, but literally, Paul Turner from Original RockShox said that he was coming from motocross. Why
don't we go on and on another show?
Yeah, amazing. Yeah,
let's do that.
Let's try and get Keith on.
Let's do that.
Paul Turner on. That'd be great.
Time now, folks, to turn our attention to what you guys have been doing. So, folks, this is news about where you've been, what you've been up to, and our first photograph here is from Alistair. Would you like to?
Love it. Amazing picture of him in the Cairngorms.
In where, though? Loch where?
Eileen.
Is it Eileen? Or Eileen?
Eileen?
Loch Eileen?
Eileen. We'll go with Eileen.
The thing is, he was on about earlier, because Whyte have actually got another bike out this week called the Rio.
Rio, yeah.
And
by Duran.
Duran.
Yeah. Do you know where Duran came from? I know we're time tight, but do you know where the name comes from?
Do you think these guys know where the names come from?
Yeah, they'll know.
Go on, then.
Barbarella.
Right, we need to move on, Owen.
Oh, right, sorry. Oh, wow.
And this one, again, another Scotland photograph. This is from Dunkeld.
Gee.
I mean, Dunkeld, fantastic trails.
Yeah.
This is Dave on
Mondrian
and Neat.
That's amazing.
Doddy's been busy on it. Doddy, you know, Doddy, he's suddenly an e-bike.
I did see that, yeah.
He's an e-bike enthusiast, overnight e-bike enthusiast.
Maybe it was always there, he just didn't have the confidence to
I think so.
Now he's got the confidence.
Exactly. And then in Nelson, New Zealand, this is Aaron and Levo on a Giant.
Lovely.
And then this lovely shot by Stacey in Aberdeenshire. So 3 Scottish shots.
Excellent.
It's a great place for adventure.
It is.
E-mountain bike adventure is one hell of a place. We'll move on.
Wow.
Right, folks, we're going into the bike vault. I'm going to let Owen do the nice or super nice on this week's show. We've got Tubby's Canyon Strive Underdog.
Super nice.
Then we've got Milan's Bulls Copperhead. Don't see many of these around. That could be an XL, isn't it? This is in Serbia, in Kosmaj.
Oh, I say super nice.
Super nice. And then we've got Jake's Theos. There's another picture of the Theos. This is actually a nicer picture of the Theos.
Oh, no, that's
this
really
is in Bled, Slovenia.
Lovely. That's super nice because the views in the background.
Do you know, it's funny, the bike vault, pictures from all over the world. It's great to see where people are enjoying their e-mountain bikes. This is a random autumn morning ride on the Ebbs, or Ebs. Ebbs. Look at this, another Dunkeld shot. I think it's possibly Dave again, and this is on Atoll Hill.
Different Mondraker, though, this time.
It is.
There's a theme there, though. And another Mondraker.
No, is it a nice or a super nice?
Oh, sorry. Super nice.
Yeah, honestly, forget all the graphene facts if you can't give it a nice or super nice.
Sorry. And there was none last time, wasn't there? Right? Yeah.
None what? None graphene?
No, super nicest. That's nice.
That's nice. Golden Valley Cumcan, Tony's Focus Jam.
Nice.
Sam squared 6.8. And what about this beauty? Heinz Scott Strike E-Ride.
Super nice.
Not messing around.
No, it's smashing through him.
And then we got Mark again. This is in Dunkeld. Look, the proper Scotland.
I'm just going to say that's nice compared to all the other super nices from Dunkeld.
And it is. And what about this? A phone box, Simon Specialist Turbo Levo.
Super nice.
It is. You don't get many phone boxes. I do like that.
Yeah.
And then this is a lovely. I thought I'd been here, but this is Paul on a Volition Max Pro in Listerfield, Melbourne.
Ah. Right, I wonder if he rides in the Norge. Maybe he does. Bit of an update there from Norge riders. Super nice.
Thank you. I told you not to get distracted.
Sorry.
William, aluminium or beer eyes.
Super nice.
And this has got to be the worst photograph ever presented to us in the bike vault. I guarantee you there is no other picture which is quite as bad as this. And it's Ricky, and it's track rail in Merthyr Tunnel. Ricky, I'm really sorry, but it doesn't look like a track rail.
That's it?
It's like, it's prop. Would you, I mean, it's not a good shot, is it? On a spectacularly brilliant bike.
It could have been good.
Ricky, I'm sorry.
I think super nice bike.
It's a super nice bike.
Probably needs a bit, maybe just.
I mean, what
have we done a how to photo your e-bike?
We clearly haven't.
There's content there.
Ricky, apologies. I don't know what to suggest. I suggest.
I think super nice, great bike.
Ricky's got a super nice nevertheless. There you go. Folks, thanks so much for joining us. Great to see Owen back with his beautiful haircut. Just to remind you, this is Owen before, and this is Owen after. Let us know your thoughts on the delightful new E-Lyte, the orange, and of course, the graphene hip lock D100.
All lightened up, haven't we, in this episode? My hair, the bikes.
Yeah. Time to get shackled.